everybody, today I want to talk about how to homeschool children under the age of 6. I have been asked this question so many times. It's probably the most commonly asked question is, what should I be doing with my 3-year-old? What should I be doing with my 4 or 5-year-old child? And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now this video is being sponsored by Word United. Word United make these beautiful white and white flashcards, which I will show you at the end of the video. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about how to approach homeschooling and schooling a child under 6. This is a very, people have very strong opinions about this, either one way or the other, and what I'm going to tell you is just my opinion. So if you don't agree with me, that's okay, we can still be friends, but this is what I feel, this is the way I'm going forward now. So I've gone through this process with 2 of my sons. I've got my daughter now coming up, and she's now 3, so she is starting to think about how we're going to approach homeschooling her now. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I think homeschooling should look for the under 6-year-olds. The way that we educate our children should be tailored around their developmental needs. We shouldn't be pushing them towards things that they're not ready for developmentally, and similarly we shouldn't be holding them back. And I think that's one of the most important things when you are educating a child, a younger child, is to look at their development and to make the most of those good things and hold back on the things that they're not ready for. So young children have the most incredible memory, and I think that it would be a really great idea if we use this time to help them to memorize things that are useful to them. So we know that they can memorize any kind of songs they hear, adverts off the TV, all kinds of things. Well, why not use this time to help them to memorize Quran so that in later life they can utilize that? So you don't have to do anything intensive with them, just have it playing in the background while they're eating, before they go to sleep, while they're playing. Have the Quran playing in your home. And to follow on from that, another way of utilising their incredible memory is teach them a foreign language when they're young. Especially if you have a second tongue or you speak 3 languages even, just speak it at home with them. And now is the time, and research has shown that the early years are the best time to teach another language. And I've done a whole other video on that, and I'll leave the link for how to teach a foreign language in the description box below. Something that you will have heard me speak about before is how powerful it is to follow your children's interests. And I cannot reiterate that enough. When you show your children that you're interested in what they're interested in, not only does that make them more motivated to learn, but it also boosts their self-confidence. It shows them that what they care about, you care about, and it gives them a sense of self-worth. And you can use their interest to learn so many different things. For example, with Legos, with different animals, whatever it is they're interested in, you can utilize that to teach them other things. Another thing that I cannot encourage you enough to do is make sure that your children have plenty of time outdoors. And I don't mean spending half an hour at playground once a week. I mean every day, plenty of time in the fresh air, in natural settings where they can play freely with no sort of agenda, no prescribed activities, just letting them play in the open air. And this is so good for them, not only for their health, but also for their mental health as well as their spiritual health. You're introducing them, you're showing them creation, thereby you're showing them the creator. And children who are interested in outdoor life, children are interested in things outside, whether it's collecting rocks or looking at birds or streams and beaches or whatever it might be. Children who are interested in those things tend not to be interested and distracted by problematic things indoors, like video games or things on the TV that you might not want them to watch. Children, if you introduce your children to beautiful things outdoors, give them plenty of exercise, they will be inspired to have healthy interests out of the home. And I think that's something that I cannot encourage you to do enough. Get your children outdoors, get them interested in things out of the home. So now is the time to really establish and cater to their spiritual needs, to nurture good morals in them. And I think one of the most powerful ways of doing that is through stories. stories about the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the prophets in the Quran, as well as children's literature, good children's literature that will inspire them to have good character, noble character. And these are such powerful tools. Children love to tell stories, they love to hear stories, so read to them about great people of the past. And young children, they want to have role models. They're always looking up to people and they're to be inspired by people. And I think now is the time really to introduce them to some of the great people from the past, as well as great literary figures as well. I think now when they're young, you can really save yourself a lot of heartache as a parent if you establish really good habits in your children when they are young. You know, to make sure that they don't complain, that they don't whine, that they clean up after themselves, that they help around the house. Simple things like that, but if you establish them when they're young, when they're older, it will make your homeschooling life and parenting in general so much easier. So Charlotte Mason said, I'm just looking in my book here, Charlotte Mason said that the child who is not being constantly raised to a higher and higher platform will sink to a lower and lower. And that's so true. If we don't encourage our children to be better, to raise their standards, then they will sink lower and lower, and that's part of our responsibility as a parent. So you have spent lots of time outdoors with them, you're reading them great literature, and you're reading them and telling them stories about the prophets, peace be upon them. You are establishing good habits and good morals in them, good routines within your household, and you are following their interests. You're doing all of those things, but what next? What about maths? What about English? Well, at about the age of 5, 6 years old, you want to start preparing them for more formal schoolwork. And so that will mean making sure they know their letters and their letter sounds, making sure they know their numbers, they can write as well. And there are a whole variety of resources that I use, but I want to show you something that I really love and that's been recently introduced to me. And these are the Word United Write and Write flashcards. So let me just show you inside this pack. So this is the colours and shapes in English. They also have the alphabet, numbers and actions as well. And they do come in other languages as well. So they've got French, Arabic, which we also use, and German and Spanish as well. So I'll just show you inside. This box is lovely. It's so solid, and it's got like a magnet to close it, which is lovely. So it comes with 2 pens. So these are like board pens. So when you write on the card, you can erase it. And then let's go inside. It comes with a whole ton of different stickers. There's the stickers. And then if we just have a look at one of these cards. So this is obviously green. So it has a picture on one side showing the word that's being described. And then on the other side, it's got it written out. So your child's practicing reading and then handwriting as well underneath. Here it's got the word written out for them to write over the top, to trace. And it shows how the letters are formed. And then here as well, they trace over that and write it then themselves. So they've got that for all the colours in this one and shapes. The cards are really, really well made. They're really solid and they're going to last for years, inshallah. So we have all of these in English. And I think they're perfect for younger children who you're just starting to introduce to more formal schooling. It's a fun way of doing handwriting. It's a fun way of doing reading and learning sight words as well. So we've really enjoyed using those in our home. If you'd like more information about the Word United Write and Write flashcards and you want to see the rest of their range, then just go to wordunited.com. They also have a store on Amazon as well, and I'll leave the link for all of that in the description box below. So that is the end of today's video, and I hope that you found that informative. If that has interested you at all, there is a coordinating blog post to go along with this video on my website, and I'll leave the link for that in the description box below. And on that, in that article, you'll find more information about what I've talked about here, and some more links and some more references as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and I'd be very, very happy to answer any of your questions. Just leave them in the comments section below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. I know that I haven't gone into any specifics in this video, I've just talked in general terms, but I hope that it's been helpful to you as sort of the general approach that we should be taking with our little kids. And yeah, if you have any specific questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them, inshallah. So thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.